let's look at expulsions. Again, whites, 80% of the population. Expulsions, 44%, so about half. Blacks, 5% of the population. Expulsions, 22%. Hispanics, think about 12% of the population. Expulsions, 22%. What this data is telling you is very significant, is that other students are suspended or expelled at a disproportionate rate when considered to the majority population. And then when you dig a little deeper, you have to ask yourself, what are we missing? And as it pertains to Ethan, as you will see, is that the students are not subject to the same degree of rigor, which is why implicit bias is so important.
Okay. And can you explain, just so it's clear, how implicit bias ties into these findings?
Absolutely. Because if you believe that a student is not a problem, you are less likely to pay attention to that student. Even if you are shown overwhelming evidence about problems. Implicit bias says you give this person a pass because that's how you've been grooved. You make certain assumptions. So you give certain people a pass based on your assumptions. However, if you give a person a pass who is a problem, it creates a bigger issue.
So I want to go into a little bit of what you call a pass. You were shown a number of assignments that were found in Ethan's backpack, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you would agree with me that, in Your Honor, these exhibits can be found in Exhibit C.
Thank you.
There is a number of pieces of paper with guns, with bullets, and other alarming scenes drawn on them. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I know the prosecutor made mention that we aren't 100% certain that these were seen by teachers, but they were in his backpack and are school assignments, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you also able to look at emails between the teachers the day before this incident as well as the day of the incident discussing the things that had come to light from the teachers trying to give warning to the people in the office?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Your Honor, that's also found in Exhibit C.
Thank you.
And what did those emails show to you, or how do they tie into implicit bias?
So just looking at the emails, I was just red flags went up. It's one teacher who said, and it's on their screen as an exhibit, and this is from Miss Krapinski. She said, I know Jackie emailed you guys yesterday with some concerns about Ethan Crumbley in our first hour class. Today, he's watching videos on his phone and a guy gunning down people. It looks like it's a movie scene and not security footage, a real event, but definitely still concerning when taking into account some of his behaviors. I continue. And this is from Ms. Kubini. I had a student doing first hour. Ethan Crumbley, who was on his phone looking at different bullets at the end of first hour today. As I was walking around the room passing out their essays, I didn't get a chance to investigate it a bit further since it was at the end of the hour. Now that he's on my radar, I'm also noticing that some of his previous work that he completed from early in the year lean a bit toward the violent side I can bring these things later today during my 5th prep hour.
And we can tell the time on that email is 9:33 a.m., correct?
Yes, ma'am.
The assignment that Ms. Kubina is talking about, you had a chance to look at, and it's contained as well in my exhibit. It's a note card where a gun was erased, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And there is also a drawing of a person with an arm outstretched with the gun, correct?
That is correct.
Alright. So I want to get into the brain and mental illness. What is mental illness?
So it's a substantial disorder of thought or mood that significantly impairs judgment, behavior, and the capacity to recognize reality. Mental illness is actually a symptom of a deeper problem. So, for example, if someone has a chest pain is a symptom of a deeper problem. It could be a pulled muscle, or it could be because of a heart attack. So mental illness is a sign of brain dis-ease.
So there are multiple ways to study the brain, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you briefly discuss those different ways?
Certainly. So one way is to look at the brain directly. So cardiologists look at the heart, dentists look at the teeth, and mental health people should look directly at the brain through various brain imaging techniques which are available. So that's one way. A second way is you want to test the brain directly through psychological instruments. Then a third way is what is utilized by psychiatrists and psychologists, and that is they use symptom clusters. So for example, if someone comes to me and they say, for the last month or so I've not been sleeping well, I've not been eating well, I've been skipping out on work, I've been crying, I've been sad and blue, then I go to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the DSM, and I look at symptoms. And if the person has, for example, 5 of these 8 symptoms, then I can diagnose that person like with major depressive disorder. So that's the third way of looking at the brain. And then the last one really is not appropriate, and that is that you guess. So what you do, you say, well, because I see you acting in this way, and because you can plan, and because you can execute, and because you can do these things, I know that you're not ill or don't have a brain dysfunction. That is guessing.
So were you able to actually look at Ethan's brain directly through imaging?
I was not able to.
Okay. So did you then decide to test the brain using assessment tools and perform a number of testing?
Yes, that is correct.
Can you explain to us the brain and exactly how easy it is for the brain to be damaged in a variety of ways?
Absolutely. So,
Judge, I'd just like some foundation. I'm sorry, Judge. I'd like some foundation for this area. There's just no evidence in the record that this man suffered any brain damage.
Thank you. Please lay more foundation.
Absolutely. Were you able to view a video taken at the 5-1 diner?
yes, I did.
Okay. And in that video, actually, we'll go ahead and play it now.
So
since
what
it's-
I would like to
Sure.
emphasize.
1 second. She has to ask a question.
Sure.
Can't interrupt. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
So were you able to, in your discussions with Ethan and the evidence that you were presented, were you able to, or did you have some concern that an injury to the brain could have occurred based on what he reported as a child and what you saw in this video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play the video. This is my Exhibit R. There is no sound in this video. So this is from 2020. What did you observe on this video?
So I observed Ethan walking in the diner, and for some inexplicable reason, his head takes a direct hit to the floor, and observed him trying to get up on his own volition, but he was not able to. And as we know, the brain is very soft. It has the consistency of soft butter or raw egg, and it's housed in this very hard box called the skull that has very sharp ridges. The brain is very susceptible to injury, and I love to do a demonstration with your permission.
Sure. Your Honor, he has a demonstration to show with an egg, as he described, how exactly, how soft the brain is and how little it takes to injure the brain. Would the court allow?
One second. I'm sorry, someone was just approaching without asking permission. I'm sorry, what exactly are you trying to do?
Yes, Your Honor. My witness would like to demonstrate to the court how easy it is, as he described, the brain is like a raw egg inside of the skull. He would like to demonstrate to the court how easy it is, even a fall like this, to damage the inside of the brain.
Thank you. People, any objection?
Judge, I guess I just wonder what the basis of that testimony is. It sounds like it's just Dr. King telling us, and the idea that it's the consistency of an egg, as Ethan's report, without citing anything. So like some.
I'm doing well, thank you. How about
This is
me?
not
You hear
just
me?
Dr. King's theory.
Thank you. Respectfully, your argument goes to the weight of this demonstrative evidence, and so the court will apply the appropriate weight. You may approach the witness.
And can you demonstrate, since obviously this is a video courtroom and we're recording, can you demonstrate or discuss what you're going to demonstrate?
Absolutely. So as I previously mentioned,
Sir, you can be seated because I can't see what you're doing.
my apologies, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So, as I mentioned, it's 100 billion neurons and 1 trillion connections in the brain, and this is scientific evidence. This is not my opinion. This is how the human brain is engineered, and it has the consistency of soft butter or raw egg. I've had the opportunity to visit the lab in Loma Linda. I've handled the human brain, and I've seen how the human brain works and how it looks like. It has the consistency of an egg. Ethan is about 6 feet 2 inches tall, and this is not 6 feet 2 inches. This probably is about, I don't know, 2 feet.
Before you move on, sir, please do not. Are you going to drop this egg in the courtroom? Thank you. I can't see.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. You may
Sorry.
proceed, sir.
Now, it makes it difficult for me if I don't stand, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can stand now. I just can't see over this bar here, so I can't see what's below your chest area. So you may stand so that way I can see what you're doing, sir.
So Ethan is 6 feet 2, and this is less than 2 feet. That's the human brain. The reason why our brains don't collapse when we have an injury is because the brain is housed in this hard shell called the skull. This skull protects the brain from external injuries.
So besides the incident that we saw at the 5-1 diner, did he also make you aware of other circumstances where he hit his head or even blacked out?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
Yeah, Ethan disclosed that he was out with his parents. I think they were picking strawberries or doing something like that. And he fell, and all he remembered was regaining consciousness. And he asked his parents what happened, and they said that he had taken a blow to the head. And there is no indication that he was taken to the emergency room or received medical assistance.
In regards to the 5-1 diner video, you were shown a report where the owner was interviewed, and in fact, his parents told the owner to not call 911 after that fall. Is that your understanding?
Yes, that is correct.
And in your interview with Ethan, did he ever tell you that at some point following that he was taken to the hospital or taken to the doctor to see, one, why he fell, or two, what happened from the fall?
I saw no evidence of that.
We're going to move along to part 4, which is Ethan's testing. Can you explain to the court the tests that you performed with Ethan?
Certainly. So I performed 15 different types of tests, and I wanted to, because there was no opportunity to image his brain, so I wanted to test his brain to see what his brain was like. And so there are a list of 15 tests there on the screen and in my report.
Okay. Let's go through them. The evaluation of competency to stand trial. Why was this important?
It was important because this is a test that is affirmed by that is recognized, I should say, by the U.S. Supreme Court in Dusky versus the People, I think in 1960. And it essentially looks at 3 things. Does the person have the ability to consult with their attorney? Does the person have the ability to rationally understand the proceedings of the court? Does the person have a factual understanding of the proceedings of the court? And the reason why I administered this test is because I know that sometimes inmates feign or they fake. They try to pretend that something is going on when that is not the case.